Hi everyone. As promised, we're going to make a pillow from our Pro Stitcher. Oh my gosh, it's December 1st tomorrow, 2025. So I've got all my customer quilts finished and now I'm ready to um, make some gifts for friends and family. A few years ago, I made this holiday pillow. This is from one of the designs that are in the Pro Stitcher Premium. And I cropped out the words and I added some background edge to edge and I put a envelope back on the pillow, all on the long arm. So let's get started, shall we? I will share my screen and we'll go into Pro Stitcher and share. There we go. All right. Now, if you have Pro Stitcher Premium, you have some files other than Pro Stitcher Designs. So we are going to go down to Vicky with a V, and everybody's in alphabetical order by first name. So Vicky Molaski. And if we come under her name, we see she has designs and she has placemats. So this Happy Holidays actually came out of the placemat that says Happy Holidays. If you have Pro Stitcher Lite, if you can find this pattern online, you can purchase it, or you might have a pattern already that you can crop out and do this same technique. The technique's going to be the same. The design might be a little bit different. So I'm going to double click on Happy Holidays, going to open it up, and here it is. Right now, it is a placemat. We are going to turn this into a square and we're going to crop some of these elements out of it. So in order to do that, I'm on my laptop and I'm going to use my simulator. I can get this all done in my simulator, save it to USB and take it over to my Pro Stitcher. Or you can do this at your tablet. Whatever your pleasure, that's the way it's going to get done. So I'm going to go to simulate and I'm going to move my crosshairs right over here where the holly starts, because the way that this stitches out is it stitches these lines, two of them, and then it goes into the design. So I'm going to move my crosshair pretty close. Let me zoom in, put a line around there. I'm going to move my crosshair pretty close to the beginning of this. So, and then I'm going to go to Picture, New Start End, Start Auto at my crosshair. Sorry. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to go Modify, Crop, Start, End. And you see that it got rid of all the design around. I'm going to move my crosshair again, and I'm going to come in pretty close. So let's zoom in on that again. Create a box around here. I'm going to move my crosshair pretty close over here. And Pro Stitcher, New Start, End. And I'm going to hit the Stop Auto 2 times. And that moved my stop point over here to my crosshairs. And I'm going to say Modify, Crop, Start, End. Now let me refresh my screen. And there you see Happy Holidays with the hollies and no design around it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in really close. And you'll see that I have a couple of tails. Let me move my crosshairs out of the way. I'm going to go back to Pro Stitcher, New Start, End. And I'm going to move that start point. Let's do little increments here. I'm going to move that start point right to that V. And I'm going to go Modify, Crop, Start, End. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the stop point. Let's move it down one, and we can go Modify, Crop, Start, End. Now what I want to do is I want to zoom in really close to that, make sure that I got it. Oh, I've got a little tail hanging on there. Now let me refresh my screen again. You don't really see that with your eye. let's take off the start and stop by going to view and hitting deselecting start end. And you really can't see that with the naked eye. You can't see that little jaunt there, but I know it's there. So I'm going to go back, put on my start end again, and I'm going to zoom in again. Let's zoom in close. And let's look at this again. Let me pan this down and zoom again. Get real close to this. And now it looks like a big line, but it's really not. Pro Stitcher, new start end, and let's move that stop point. Okay, so it didn't go to where I wanted it to go because when patterns are designed, the designer might put a point here, and not do multiple points in between. So it won't stop exactly where we want it to stop. Now, like I said, you probably can't see that when you're stitching that out, but if you're like me, you want to really get rid of it, right? So I have Pro Stitcher Designer attached to um, on my laptop, I have it loaded and registered, and I have it loaded and registered on my Pro Stitcher tablet as well. So if I go over here to Tools, you see that I have Designer here, and that I can pass this pattern directly into Pro Stitcher Designer. So I'm going to go to Designer, and you see that it opened up. Let me see, I'm going to stop my share here, and I'm going to share my Designer screen and share. Okay, now you can see that it passed it into Pro Stitcher Designer. So I'm going to zoom way into this because Designer is where we can fix mistakes, take out points, put in points. So this is where, okay. Now, right now, this is your select key, just like you have on your Pro Stitcher, and this is your shape tool. So if I hit my space bar and bring my design into view, and I hit my shape tool, you see where all those points are that the designer put in. And there is no point between that spot that we had. Let me see if I can get this down just a little bit. Let me pan and zoom. Let's see where that point is. Let's zoom. Let me get that big again and again. Okay, it's coming. And again, I wish that would stay active. Okay, so there is the extra point there. And then there isn't a point until it gets up into here. So what I want to do, this is a ruler bar up here. You see where it says inches? It's a ruler bar. I can right click on my ruler bar and I can select what I want this point to do. I want it to snap to this point right here. It's called an anchor point. So I'm going to put my cursor on this point and I'm going to, oh, what happened there? Hold on. Let me pan. I want to snap these two together. So my select, I'm going to select this one and I'm going to move it up here and snap. Now, when I click on the outside of it, that line should go away. Okay, there it is. So now the pattern is fixed and I have a good corner there. I'm going to hit my space bar so I see the whole pattern. I'm going to come up here to my select key and I'm going to click on my design so it selects the whole design. And while I'm in the home page here, there's a sewing machine right here that says send. I'm going to click on that and you see the screen flash. That means it sent it over to the Pro Stitcher. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen here and I'm going to go back to my Pro Stitcher. Where's my Pro Stitcher? Pro Stitcher right here. Share. Okay. Oh, that's designer. Nope, don't want to do that. Let's go back to my Pro Stitcher. Here's my Pro Stitcher. Okay, sorry about that. All right, there's my Pro Stitcher. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom into that again. So my zoom key's still on. I have my magnifying glass. I'm going to zoom way into that again. And I'm going to come up here to View. And I'm going to take off my start and end point so you can see. Look at that corner there, how perfect that is. So if you have designer, you can manipulate those points to what you want it to do, okay? So I'm going to refresh my screen, and now I have it exactly the way that I want it with just the words and the holly. Now I have to look at the size. It's 11.5 by 8. I think I'm going to put this down to, let's see. I'm going to modify, resize this, turn my lock on, and I'm going to resize the width to 10.5. 10, because I want a little bit of pattern on the side, my edge to edge. 10.5, enter. All right, so now it changed my size to the width 10.5 and the height 7, almost and a half. Okay, now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to baseline that. And with my select key on, I can just move it out of the way. I'm going to take my crosshair and I'm going to put it up here so you can see. Now I want to create my pillow. I'm going to go File, Design, Open. I'm going to go to Pro Stitcher Designs, Blocks, and I'm going to go down to the S's square 4x4. So that's a perfect square. I want to put that square in the center here, but I'm going to change it to 12 inches because that's what my pattern's going to be. So I want the square to be 12 inches. And now I'm going to say center this square in my crosshair. So modify, reposition, center, and now that 12-inch square is centered inside my crosshair. Now I want to create my edge to edge. Let's get this piece out of the way again. Select this one, and move over. Okay. File, Design, Open. Now, you can put whatever edge to edge you want in here. If you have snowflakes, if you have trees, if you have presents, whatever you want. But for today, I'm just going to select the stipple because I know we all have that. So let's go to S to stipple, open. And now I need an area around this box. I'm going to go back to my workspace and I'm going to select my square 4x4 and I need to select and create an area. So I can go corner and do 2 corner here and 2 corner here and get my area. Or I can go multi-point, 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 multi-point and get my area. Or real quick, because I have straight lines, I can go rubber band area. Now you see how that put a pink rubber band around my area? So I'm going to select around my square. I'm going to select my stipple. I'm going to go repeat, and I'm going to say fill. And now I need a couple of more because I don't want to stretch it. It'll distort it. So I'm going to say, give me a couple more horizontal repeats and give me a couple more vertical repeats. All right, now there's a nice little gap in there. So while I'm in the vertical screen, let's close that gap by pushing on the minus. Okay, that looks better. Now I got to get rid of the outside. So modify, crop, outside, edges. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to baseline that and I'm going to select, let's see, I'm going to select my stipple Let's go to multi-select here, my stipple and my area. And it won't let me select both. Okay, let's put the area, modify, reposition, center in my crosshair. And let's get my stipple and center in my crosshair. Reposition, reposition, center. Okay, now that I have my design centered in my crosshair, I'm going to bring in my happy holidays. So I'm going to go down here to my selection keys and I'm going to say select none. While my select is on here, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to say modify, reposition, center in my design. Okay, there we go. So I have my square, I have my stipple, and I have my words, happy holidays. Now, let's go back to the workspace and let's put these in the order that I want them to stitch. So let's select none. Let's go over here to the square 4 by 4 and oops, and then let's go to repeat stipple. See how it's starting to group them together? And then the happy holidays. All right, so square 4 by 4. Repeat stipple turns red when you click on it, and placemat happy holidays is the third thing. Now, if for some reason you don't select them in order and you need to change the order, this is how you do it down here. So see my happy holidays is last. Let's move it first. There you go. But I don't want it first. I want it last. But this is where you can change the order around. Okay, so now that I have that lovely group, I'm going to say baseline. And now it will stitch out my whole pattern in the order that I selected. So um, if you look at my pillow, you hardly see the thread in the background on my edge to edge. So if you're normally using a 40 weight thread for your edge to edge, I would recommend changing it to a 60 weight, a 80 weight, or 100 weight, that you can just see the texture of the pillow and not of the stitching and not the actual thread, because you can hardly see that the thread is going through the letters in here. So, let's see if I can get that nice and close for you. Oh, where are we here? There you go. You can hardly see that they're going through because I've used the lighter thread with my background fill there. Okay, so now that we have our stitching done, you can actually take your background fabric, get them prepared as you would for an envelope style where you have the opening in the middle, right? You're overlapping those. You can put your fabrics right on top of your stitch out. Don't cut anything away. Don't delete anything. Just put your fabric on top. So if you have a 12-inch pillow, I'd say put 13 inches, two 13-inch pieces, or what, however you make your envelope. Put it on top of your pillow, and then you can come over to the Pro Stitcher tab to quilt, and you can say trace area. And what that's going to do is it's going to trace the area that we have on our pillow, and it's going to tack down your backing. And then all you have to do is cut it away, and then cut it away and flip it right side out, and you're all done. So, yeah, it's fairly quick process that you can do with really any kind of edge to edge. If you have something that's inside of it, you can move your start and stop points and crop it out, repeat it, do whatever you want with it. It's so much fun. So go down to Vicky Malasky and get one of those um, placemats. Play around with it in your simulator. Remember, you need your square, you need your area, you need your background design, and you need the pattern cropped to what you want to put inside there. And I would actually recommend that when you are doing your lettering, that you let it stitch the letter and then you move it back to where it started stitching the letter and just let it do it a second time so that it does come out nice and dark. You can couch this. You can couch the lettering on here with yarn, decorative yarn for the holidays. Um, you can get some different designs and maybe put a somebody's name on here. It's oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless. Put the year on there, whatever you want to do. So I hope that you understand this process. If you have trouble with it, please leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. I'm pretty good about answering you pretty quick. Um, and then show me your work. Show it in the Post It Your Posse if you're part of that on Facebook. Tag me anywhere that you are where you're going to put your picture. You can tag me, Harriet Carpanini, and also have a great holiday season. And I'll see you soon. Remember to hit the like button, please. I have usually about 300 or 400 people watching these videos, and I have 20 likes. That makes me sad. So please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and hit the notification so that you know when a new video drops. I'm going to be trying to do some project-oriented videos here coming up. I think the next one I'm going to do is maybe a table runner, show you how to create that in your simulator. And have a great holiday season, and I'll see you soon. All right.